it going, Erin?
Oh, pretty good. I went outside this weekend and it was sunny and
What?
I know. I didn't even melt. And
Oh, God.
my kids were playing in the water and shit. And I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get ready for summer. And so then I fucking rolled up my pants that were like, pajama pants.
Did you get a sunburn?
No.
God damn!
But I was like, I need fucking...
Sunglasses.
Yeah, something like a reflector on these bad boys.
It is bright.
Jesus, they're so white. My legs are so white. Like,
have you ever seen those memes where it's like, oh, the Irish lady's out on the beach again, and then they're like, not that girl, the other one, and then there's a girl in the background that literally blends
just
in.
looks like sand,
Yeah.
the white sand. Yeah, that's me.
Me too.
That's my fucking bottom half. And I was like,
Me too. Look at my legs right now. If you have
That's
fucking
why-
this.
that's why
Literally
when you
is-
think of it.
Literally, the wall is tanner than my leg. Like, if you had to put the eyedropper thing that collects the color.
Pure white.
Yeah, it would be
Just
pure
go
fucking white.
Right on her
The
leg.
whitest motherfucker there is.
That's what I saw, and that's what reminded me of my fucking outside story. And then I was sitting there for a while, and I was like, I'm gonna get a sunburn, A. And then B, I looked over, and my neighbors were outside, and their, like, backyard area kind of looks down on my driveway area. And I don't know who they are or what they do. I've never introduced myself because I'm not that person.
Yeah.
I wave at them, like, when I'm leaving, do the
Like,
little
hey.
dad wave, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, sup.
So
They never have clothes on. Like,
Well-
she's always in a bikini. He's always in board shorts and no shirt. And they're so tan. And I was like, I'm being judged.
for sure. Oh, I get judged every time. Every time I wear shorts, everybody says something, and I'm like, I know I'm fucking pale. This is why I'm so goddamn pale, is because everybody always comments on it, and then I don't want to wear shorts because I'm self-conscious about it.
Yeah.
Let me wear some goddamn shorts and don't comment on my pale ass legs.
People don't normally comment on my pale ass legs.
Uh-huh.
What they do comment on is that I look like I got run over by a combine harvester or something.
Yeah, because you're covered in bruises.
So many bruises.
Yeah.
Like, what happened? Were you playing soccer right before this? Oh, no. Just living my life.
I just woke up again today.
Yeah. Oh, what happened? I don't know. That one looks really bad. I'm
Yeah.
aware.
Yeah, it hurts. I know.
Yeah. Anyway, can you got a goddamn for me?
I do, and it's kind of a continuation from all my other goddams that's been going on, because my life is very fucking boring, and I don't go anywhere except for inside of my beautiful prison of a home.
Yep. It's a beautiful prison.
Oh my God. And I live with the warden, aka my toddler.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm just here to say that life with a toddler is a motherfucking disaster.
Yeah.
I can't do anything in my life without having to do it 50 fucking times.
And do it right.
Oh my God.
And by right, I mean their way.
Oh my God, it makes me...
No, put the Paw Patrol blanket on first.
Yeah, and you're like, I don't even know. Why are you so
fucking blankets.
controlling? Like, Jesus Christ.
Blankets. I don't want that one to touch my skin. Fucking, all right, Jesus.
Yes.
It's fine.
There's so many weird rules.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, so this is my overall goddamn. I'm just going to hit you with a couple random ass shit that I had to do 500 fucking times, or I was just like, why is this a thing that I have to talk about? The first one, you are fully fucking aware of because you walked into my house. and
Your
you
new
saw it.
decoration?
My new decoration. We have in the kitchen, all of the cabinets are those like self-closing ones. So like you have to like pull pretty hard to open them. And then when you want to close them, you just barely tap it and it's like slap. Like it'll get your fucking finger if you're not careful.
Ooh, got them.
Yeah.
They were like, no kids in this house.
Yeah, fuck this shit. So that's how they are. And my son, every time he wants a fucking snack, will run into the pantry and rip the door wide open and like press on it. And every time I can hear the wood like crunching. And I'm like, oh my God, kid. Like it has hinges. You have to stop. Like don't fucking lay on the door.
Yeah.
And every time I'm like, stop. Like be gentle with the door. Be gentle with the door. Well,
You just talked about that door in the last episode.
did I? What was it?
Laying on the door. Him laying on the door.
Oh my God. Okay, so, well, it has happened, you all. I walked up one night after having like 2 glasses of fucking wine, and I was like, I need some munchies because my belly is hot. And so I went to go get me some Cheez-Its or some shit. Barely grabbed the door handle to open it, and it fell off into my hands. A whole door. It is taller than me, the size of like a door that you will walk into because it's a fucking pantry door.
Yeah.
Not like a walk-in pantry. I ain't that fancy, but it's a door.
Yeah,
It's not like
it's
a
a
little
big door.
cabinet. Yeah. And it fell off, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, what is going on? And
I just wanted some Cheez-Its.
I just wanted Cheez-Its, man. And I just sat down, you know? Like,
Yeah.
come on, I just want to relax. So I just literally leaned the door up next to the cabinet, and that's where the door now lives. Thing number 2 that happened that I was like, what the actual fuck is going on here? My son likes to pee outside all the fucking time. All the time. All the time. And it's starting to bother me. Like, he's getting old enough now that I'm like, go to the fucking bathroom. Like, he literally will run from inside of the house to outside of the house to go pee.
Yeah.
And it's just
Like
gross.
a homeless dog.
Yes, and it's just gross at this point. I'm
I
like,
guess he's not homeless. He's like a dog.
It's just like a dog.
They pee outside.
Yeah. Most of them.
Aw.
So
Your dog pees inside, your kid pees outside.
it's a nightmare. I just don't even know what I'm doing with my life anymore. But so my son peeing outside all the fucking time, and he was being really quiet, and I saw him run outside, and so I like checked on him, and he was peeing into the dog dish outside because there's like an outside water dish for the dogs.
Oh, no.
And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And so I was like, we don't do that. And he looked over at me, grabbed it, and flung it into the air. So piss just flew everywhere.
What?
And then he ran away crying because he was sad that he was in trouble. And
Why
I
would
was
he
just,
fling it? Did he have to bend down to grab it?
he did. He had to do all of those things. I don't know, Aaron. I don't know.
Did he cut it off midstream?
No, like I had walked up towards the end and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And he saw me and made the decision, like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to fucking fling the evidence.
Yeah,
like,
destroy the evidence.
it's like he's throwing his drugs out the window of a car.
Kid's got good sense.
Yes.
As long as it didn't get on him.
But he said it did not get on him, but
good.
it didn't even get, it was out in the yard, so it
Yeah.
doesn't fucking matter. But I was just like,
Sprayed everywhere.
Are you, like,
Why?
why? That's just all I'm going to ask nonstop. It's just fucking why? Like, what was that? And then he was crying and I'm like comforting him. And I'm like, bro, I'm the one that's pissed and who should be crying. You just flung piss everywhere. And now I got to wash that goddamn dog dish. Like,
Yeah, you gotta wash pish out of a dog dish.
why? Why? I think I'm going crazy.
Aw,
Legitimately.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm losing my fucking mind.
Oh.
And then I'm like, how do they live to be adults? And you know what?
Like without their parents killing them?
Yeah. And like, if you're listening to this, son, and it is the future now,
No, you almost died today.
you're welcome. Yeah. I love you with every ounce of my soul and being, but like, what the fuck? And then I know he's going to listen to this in the future if it ever survives. I don't know how podcasts survive. Maybe we'll still be doing it then.
Yeah,
And he's going to
maybe.
be like 21 and he's going to be like, Mom, what did you expect? Like, look who's raising me. And I'm going to be like, all right, listen here, fucker. You're totally right. And I totally get it. And you turned out super awesome, just like Mom. But let it be fucking known that someday you're going to have a little shit running around pissing and things and flinging it everywhere. And I'm going to look at you and I'm going to go,
What did you expect?
look who's fucking raising him.
My mom used to tell me, I hope you have a kid just like you. And I do. So,
Yeah, here we are.
Yeah.
I can't even bitch and complain. I love the fuckers, and there's such fucking first world problems that I just bitched about. But I think I just hit my peak, you know? I hit my peak, and I was
Yeah.
just like, I can't do everything 5 times.
yeah.
I can't even afford to do it once. And by afford, I mean I don't have the time. I don't have the mental capacity.
That's what I was going to say. You can't afford the time.
No,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
It's
lose
not
my
even
goddamn
money.
mind.
It's time. Like, I don't have enough time in the day to do this shit.
That's my goddamn. Aaron, what's yours?
Well, mine is not that exciting. It's our significant others went on a fucking retreat.
They did.
Yeah, so we were both single moms this weekend.
Crushed it.
Or this last
Crushed
weekend.
the single mom
Fucking
life.
crushed it. BT dubs. We were rocking out to music. We were having a good time. Everything was nice. I had the fucking wax melter thing
Ooh,
that
yeah.
someone got us, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna treat myself. I had that shit
Yeah.
going. The house smelled good. It was clean. I had the fucking kids playing. I was like living my best life.
Loving it.
Yeah. And then I was done with the wax thing because I was like, I would like a new scent now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put on a candle or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I blew out the little candle thing and I took it out of the little thing and it's in a little chimenea. And I was like, how the fuck do you get the wax out of this? Because in all of my other wax burner things has a little corner and then you just like poured it back into the like plastic thing and then it re-solidifies and you're like, I'll deal with that later.
What? That's how you do it?
That's how I've always done it.
What?
They all have like, I mean, I guess mine are all square. So then they have corners and then you pour the wax out of the little corner.
Back into that little
Back into the little plastic
ice cube
thing.
tray?
Yeah, and then it just solidifies again, and then you could use that one again because like the smell's not gone. It's the
What?
same
This is
shit.
blowing my mind.
Yeah, so you can reuse that shit a million times. Maybe
Is that
not
like
that many times.
standard?
I don't know. I never read the directions. I just did that.
I always just left it and then I'd reuse it a million fucking times until I'm like, it doesn't smell as strong. And then I let it dry.
And then
I
pop it out.
pop it out with like a butter knife or something.
I was real into like changing them all the time. So I'd be like fucking tropical stuff in the morning. And then I'd pour that bitch back in there and like let that shit cool. And I'd put in like a different one because I don't like the same smell all the time. No, I don't know. Maybe that's what you're supposed to do. I've always had cornered ones. So I was like, that's
I like
what
your
I'd
life
pour it
better.
out.
Yeah.
And that's how my life has been. But then this one is in like a little chimenea thing. Super cute. And I was like, how do I pour this? And I was going to just pour it over my counter. And I was like, you know what? Better take this over the sink. Just in
this
case.
is a new procedure.
Yeah. I don't know how it's going to pour, whatever,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So then I'm holding the little plastic thing and I'm holding the little chimenea
Oh, God.
thing. And then I started to pour it and literally none of it got into the plastic thing. Literally none of it. No matter how I poured it, it got all over my hand.
I don't think you're supposed to do that.
I don't think you are either,
Yeah.
especially not with this
I was
kind.
really impressed, and I think you made that up.
It works in my other one.
Yeah.
I could show you, but it does not in this one.
I
So
think
this
it's a
is
fluke that it works in the other one.
It's not. It has a corner that you just pour shit. It pours perfectly. But this doesn't have a lid. It doesn't have a tray. It doesn't.
Also-
It has a.
This explains your personality perfectly.
Oh my god, it does.
Like the fact that you pour it back into the ice cube tray thing that it comes in.
Because that's where you keep them.
Yeah,
I have a
and then you're
drawer
going
of
to
those.
probably reuse it into to where you're like, it doesn't even smell anymore.
Yeah.
And you're going to be like, I can smell it a little bit. I can't throw it away yet.
At any rate. So it got all over my hand. My fucking rings stuck together. Wax inside my fucking diamond. My blood diamond. All inside it. I was like, don't know how to clean that. And then I looked down at the sink and there's wax all over the sink. And I was like, for some reason, I was like, I should let that dry. So then I
I
let
feel
that
like you
dry.
could like scrape it off then.
That's what I thought. Yeah, like it'd be easier to scrape off. So then I
Yeah.
let it dry. Well, the stuff that the person sent us was like soy based or something. Like
soft.
it's soft. It's like nicer or whatever. It's not the Walmart brand like Chips Off. So it like mushed and I was like, uh-oh. So then I started scraping it out and I got most of it out in like scrapeable chunks and it was all over everything in my life, in my sink, in my hand. I had to wash my rings.
Oh
and
my
then
God.
I was like, okay, I got it all out of the sink. I scraped the shit out of the sink. I got it all out of the sink and then I walked away and then I came back and I was like, uh-oh, my sink is waterproof. It had like a fine layer of wax to where it was just like
It
beaded.
wouldn't stick. Yeah.
Yeah, the water was like beaded around it, and I was like, oh no. And in my life, Brandon cooks. It's Brandon's kitchen. Like that's his shit. He does whatever he
You're
wants
like,
in there.
Dad's going to be mad when he gets home.
Literally, I was like, there's no way he's not going to notice. He leaves for one weekend, and I don't know, break his sink. And I'm like,
Oh my God.
I am not like a in the kitchen kind of a lady.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I don't know what the fuck to do. So then I'm texting you and Alexis and I was like, hey, so like, what are you supposed to do with this?
Oh my God.
What gets us out? And you're like, Dawn cleans baby ducks. Try that.
Did it work?
Yeah. There's still little scrape marks, but I was like, it's fine. He didn't notice.
Oh, well,
I
that's
got-
good. Then you're fine.
Yeah, it's not waterproof anymore, but it was a goddamn disaster for a minute and I had wax everywhere.
Hey, Aaron.
Hey, Stace.
Do you want to hear my story this week?
I want nothing more.
I think we're on episode 137.
137.
To be exact. And this week's episode is brought to you by a listener suggestion. It is a Twitter follower. Actually, I don't know if they follow, but they are on Twitter.
They're like suggesting something on Twitter, but like, I'm not going to follow you.
Maybe. I don't know. I didn't look. Yeah. So thanks, Joseph, for this horrible story that I'm about to share with everybody, which, by the way, I was researching last night and I was like, I'm just going to read this one article before I go to bed because I want to know a little bit more details to share with our fucking goddamn fam. And I read it and I was like, that is the worst piece of information that I could read
Series of words.
prior to shutting my eyes for deep, deep slumber.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So get ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it.
By the way, before we get started, I hope that my mic isn't crackling like a motherfucker. We have run some tests
We ran a test.
and some analytics, and I crunched some numbers.
I
And
crunched all of the numbers.
The consensus is that we have no fucking clue what happened, so there is that.
Yeah.
But this shouldn't have it. But if it does, please
Shouldn't.
don't give up on us.
Yeah.
And we're sorry, because you know we care a lot about this fucking audio. We care too far fucking much. And if you don't know, it is literally
Now you know.
a point of contention. in our podcast relationship all the time. Like, is the audio okay? Is it fine? Is it good? Does it sound like shit? It sounds like shit, doesn't it? It sounds like we're in a well. It sounds like there's a
we're in a well?
fan. Yeah. Does it sound like we're in a well? Is there a fan? And it's just like a constant like
How do
battle.
other podcasts do it better?
Yeah. And then everybody's like, you guys sound fine. And we're like, ha, thank you for the compliment.
Give me validation. I certainly wasn't seeking.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And then everybody was like, wow, sounds like static. And we're like heartbroken. Like, I know. Okay. So
know.
sorry if they're static. I'm sure it's fine.
Bear with us.
Okay. So this week, I'm going to tell you about the Setagaya family murders.
I'm sorry. One more time?
The Setagaya family murders.
Okay.
Okay. So in the year 2000, Mikio Miyazawa,
Okay.
that is a name, who was
I
40.
gathered.
Mikio was 44 years old, and he lived in a neighborhood of Tokyo called Setagaya with his wife.
Okay.
His wife's name was Yasuko, and she was 41, and they had 2 children, a daughter named Nina, and she was 8, and a son named Ray, who was 6.
Okay.
Got it?
Okay.
So
Is it Nina, not Nina?
it's Nina.
Oh, all right.
I fucking Google that shit.
All right,
It's
touche.
2 eyes. It's spelled like Nina,
Oh.
but 2 eyes.
All right.
Nina. Okay, so the family lived in a neighborhood that at one time had been like a nice little family neighborhood and shit, but it was slowly being bought out by, I'm guessing, the city and torn down to make more room for a neighboring park that was close by. This park was actually like in the backyard of the home, and they were tearing down the neighborhood so that they could make the park bigger.
Interesting. Usually it's the other way around.
I know, right? Yeah. What a fucking concept.
Yeah.
So the family lived in a home that I'm going to describe as like a detached townhome. Like these homes were really close together, like a townhome, but they weren't literally connected.
Okay.
But they were like skinny and tall,
Okay.
like a townhome. Like they were a couple stories, but it's not like each story was like, they didn't live in a fucking mansion, right? Like as I describe it, because when I was reading this, I was like, God damn, they live in a fancy ass house. And then I looked at it and I was like, oh, it's like a townhome. That makes sense why there are so many goddamn stories. There's literally 2 stories, but
so many goddamn stories.
okay, so it was kind of like this townhouse kind of vibe, whatever. And next door, like really close next door, was Yasuko's sister, An. Maybe
Ooh.
Anne. A-N. An.
Okay.
Un.
Fun to live next to your sister.
Yeah, so she lived there, but the majority of the time she wasn't home. She would always travel to England, I think it said. And her husband traveled a lot, so they were kind of gone all the time. But An's mother and Yasuko's mother, the grandma, lived in An's home most of the time.
Okay.
But because the family, like the homes were so close, both of the families were worried about like feeling like they're living on top of each other. And so they soundproofed each of the homes so that they felt like they could have a little privacy.
Okay.
Now, this was like before everything got bought out and everything, right? Like
Yeah.
the city was starting to buy it out. I'm just kind of giving you like a little background of what's going on in these homes.
Okay.
So they are soundproofed.
And they're not touching.
And they're not
like,
touching.
duplexes?
But they're close. No. Like, they don't really share a wall, but they're fucking close. Like, I don't even think you could drag a trash can between them, according to the pictures.
Interesting.
But maybe you could,
why even have a gap?
so that you could sell them as your own home. I don't really know.
I mean, but if you can't, like, I don't know, walk through it, what would be
You
the
could probably
point?
walk. You could probably walk through it. Maybe there's like a side yard.
All right. All right.
But also, if you think of like Tokyo, isn't everything really close together? It's kind of like San Francisco, right?
Yeah.
Like the area, there's like a lot of people that live in a small area, so maybe that's why.
Yeah.
So I didn't research at all like anything about the neighborhood or the homes. So I'm just fucking speculating here.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense given
Yeah.
everything that I know about Tokyo, which is literally nothing.
What we just said.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, so like I said, the neighboring homes were being bought out to make room for this park. But Mikio and Yasuko, they were really apprehensive about selling their their home.
Mm-hmm.
And the main reason being that Yasuko would tutor her children in the home. Like, I don't know if she tutored other children or only her kids, but that's like where she worked all the time. And she was worried about getting the children out of their like comfort zone and environment and everything. Like, they had a happy little home and life there, and they didn't want to uproot them.
Yeah.
And all
makes
that shit.
sense.
Right? But the family would never have to make that decision because something terrible happened in this house.
Okay.
On December 31st, 2000, Yasuko's mother, Haruko, got concerned when she called her daughter and nobody answered. Now remember, she's like living right next door, right?
Yeah.
So she decided to go over and check on the family. And when she got to the house, she found that Mikio, Yasuko, Nina had all been stabbed to death,
Oh, Jesus.
and Ray had been strangled. So the whole family was murdered.
Who was Ray?
The baby. The 6-year-old.
baby.
Not a baby. The
Oh,
youngest.
okay.
A 6-year-old.
Still,
Yeah. So Ray was 6. Nina was 8.
Oh my God, that's so sad.
Yeah, the whole family. She walked in and then like they were stabbed. So there was like, it was bad,
Oh
right?
God.
The police were called and an investigation was launched, and it was determined that the family had been murdered the previous night at around 11:30 p.m. They also were able to determine that the killer had stayed in the house for a few hours after the murder.
Why do they do that? That's so freaky.
I don't know. I hate it. I don't like it at all. So the killer had cut the phone lines or unplugged them, it said. Not cut. I'm being fucking dramatic. The killer had unplugged the phone line. So that's why when Haruko had called, nobody had answered. It just like kept ringing or whatever because
Yeah.
it was unplugged. And that's fucking terrifying. Or
Yeah.
cut. I don't know. I don't know the details.
It was not working.
Yeah, it was
He
not working.
Disassembled it.
Yeah, no longer can you use this phone. Okay, so this park was, like I said before, it was in the backyard of this home, basically. And there was kind of like a chain link fence. And then there were some trees. I think the trees were on the other side, like the park side.
Okay.
And so the killer gained entry by climbing the tree and taking the screen off the bathroom window, the second-story bathroom window, and opening it and climbing through that way.
Okay, that is fucking terrifying.
Right? And when I heard that, that's when I was like, oh my God, they live in a huge ass house with like fucking second story bathroom windows, right? Like it blew my mind.
Look at this guy doing all good with his stairs. Who has fucking stairs?
I don't know. I heard second story and I was like, Jesus Christ, this fucking mansion. In a park in a backyard. Anyway, and then they were talking about people living next to each other so close that they had to soundproof. And I was like, hold up, I have questions.
I have questions.
So really,
I heard stairs and I thought, this is a rich family.
girl, I grew up in the trailer parks of fucking Spring Valley. Oh my God, okay.
All right.
So that's how the killer got in.
Yeah, fucking scary.
Now, yeah, here is the speculation on the order of events that occurred based on the evidence that they found.
Okay.
Because everybody was murdered, so we don't know the whole fucking story.
Mm-hmm.
So based on the evidence, Ray was asleep in his room, which was on the second floor, right next to the bathroom that the killer entered into,
Oh my God.
or entered in from. And the killer walked into Ray's room and then strangled the baby with his bare hands. The baby was 6, but I keep calling him the baby of the family, right?
He is.
Ray is the only victim that was not stabbed, and he didn't have any blood on his body.
Baby.
The police found most of the footprints in his bedroom, so I'm guessing the speculation is that like all the altercation or like a big altercation happened there. Maybe not with Ray, but probably with the father, because during Ray's strangulation, Mikiao, who was working downstairs on the family computer, he heard a ruckus going on upstairs and ran into the son's room, and he runs up the stairs and he encounters the killer. And the killer immediately started to slash at Mikiao with a sashimi bocho knife.
Okay.
Hope I'm saying bocho. I'm going to say it. Bocho.
That sashimi bocho knife.
Y'all want some 2-pack shaker? You want me to put the 2-pack on and we can have some sashimi bocho?
Oh my God.
Anyway, okay. Sorry about that, everybody. I'm really sorry. Okay, so the killer struck Mikiao in the head and the knife blade broke off into his skull.
Oh, that's not good. I mean, I guess it's better. You can't keep stabbing.
Well, he could.
Oh.
Yeah. So Mikiao was found with most of his wounds on his thighs, buttocks, arms, chest, and face. His death was ruled due to blood loss from the stab wounds in his chest.
Oh my God, that's so sad.
It is really sad. He was found at the base of the stairs on the first floor, so I don't know if he was like running away or if he fell down the stairs or what, but that's where he was found.
Can I say that the dad heard a noise upstairs in the kid's room and then ran up there? Like, that's impressive, first of all.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'd be like,
Wait for it.
you better go to bed. Get back in bed.
I wonder if it was like it was like a ruckus. He broke in quickly and then ran in there, but then you kind of have to know where you're going, right?
Maybe he heard the window. Like, he heard like a ka-chunk chunk, and he's like, that's the fucking window. Like, I know
Yeah.
what my window sounds
Like,
like.
what's going on? But then he
my kid
strangled
climbing out
him
the
very
window?
quickly, if that's the case. Unless he was strangling him and fighting off the dad.
That's that one-handed strangle. Did it with his bare hands.
Bare hands. But I think that Ray was strangled by the time the dad got upstairs. That's how I'm reading it. I don't really
So maybe
know
the
for
dad did give it some time. And he's like, oh,
what's going on. And then he was like, that sound like big-ass footsteps.
yeah.
I don't know.
Either way, I'm impressed with the dad for investigating.
Absolutely. You're like, fuck it.
I mean, I would eventually go up there, but I would yell first, like, get back in bed. And I don't think that Brandon would do any of that.
So you're impressed.
I am. I'm like, wow, good on him. He heard a noise and he investigated in the kid's room.
Basic parental duties, check.
Listen,
Oh, God.
after bedtime?
Yeah, it's over. I'm not a parent anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay, so he's found at the base of the stairs. Now, Yasuko and Naina, they were asleep together in the attic, and that was accessible via the ceiling ladder from the second floor, which was close to the bathroom.
Okay.
It's
A weird place to sleep, but it's probably a finished attic.
Yeah, and then the articles also said that, like, the spaces were cramped and everything, so I'm guessing...
Like it's an extra bedroom.
Yeah, so they made it into a bedroom. It's assumed that the killer found the mother and the daughter in the attic and slashed at them with the broken sashimi bocho knife
Okay.
and then left them for dead, right? So he goes up there, attacks them. He, she, we don't know. And it's assumed that because the bed that the mother and the daughter were laying on was covered in blood, suggesting that they were attacked while they're sleeping, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there was tissues that had blood on it laying on the floor, and it had Naina's blood on it, showing that Yasuko had probably tried to stop her bleeding up there. Yeah. And then we're all guessing that what happened next was when the killer walked away, Yasuko took Naina and made a break for it to try to escape.
Yeah.
So, like, we're going to die up in this attic. We have to run. The killer caught them trying to escape and grabbed a knife from the house and stabbed them both several times at the top of the stairs.
Oh my God, I hate this.
I know. This is the part that I read right before going to bed.
Mm-hmm.
They were found crouching with their backs against each other. Naina was actually the last to die of the family. Her death was ruled to be caused by cervical spinal cord injury that happened when she was stabbed in the back. That freaks me out.
Ooh,
I don't like back shit.
Yeah, you don't like back shit.
I don't like spinal shit.
But I literally just pinched a nerve recently, and now I know, like, back shit is weird to me. Like,
Yeah.
I never once had issues with my back, but now I can't imagine something touching it.
Yeah. And she was the last to die.
I mean, that's pretty horrific.
And they were like back to back, like trying to fend off blows. This motherfucker. Anyway, okay.
That's so sad.
That's the part that I read before bed, and I was like, I didn't need any of that in my head.
No, you didn't.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now I feel like I'm going to vomit.
Also, they're at the top of the stairs, which means that they were probably gonna run down the stairs, and then they saw the dad at the bottom of the stairs, which is another horrifying thing to think.
Yeah, like they saw him before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Or like, did they hear the attacks and they were trying to hide, and then the killer found them
that too.
and then attacked? But it said that, I mean, they didn't have to be asleep. I guess I just kind of assumed that if it was like the blood on the bed, but where else are you going to hide? Or if
Yeah.
you're like, just pretend that you're asleep and nothing will happen. I
Well,
don't
they
fucking
could
know.
have like left the ladder down too, like not a thing that you pull up every night. Because why would you pull the ladder
True.
up to go? Like
Yeah.
you would leave it open.
Yeah, that
in case
makes
you had to pee in the
sense.
middle of the night. So the killer probably was like,
Oh, look,
"What's in this attic?
more stairs.
Why is this open?" Yeah, which is fucking scary.
I hate it.
But also, they, I would think, woke up when the dad was being attacked because I would not go quietly. At least
No.
you've all heard
And-
my scream now. So.
Yeah.
That'll wake up anyone. Is that a ghost?
Are we being haunted or murdered? It could be either. Yeah, I hate the idea of them being stabbed and attacked and the mom having to be like, we have to get out of here. Like, we're
Yeah.
still alive enough that I can get you out of here.
Yeah.
And like,
Well, and there's like no window out of the attic. Like,
and then you're like trying to stop your baby from bleeding with tissues. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Yeah.
It makes me very uncomfortable.
that's horrifying.
Okay, so the whole family's now murdered at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, also, Naina was missing some teeth, so
Oh,
yeah.
why? No.
Yeah, so the killer had like beat her also. I don't know why I said that so joyfully at the beginning. Oh, also,
Oh, anyway.
here's Wonderwall.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so this family, fucking terrible death. With everyone in the house now murdered, the killer then hung around for another 2 to 10 hours.
2 to 10?
2 to 10. They're not exactly sure how long this person was fucking chilling out.
That's so many hours.
I know. They know this because the killer used the family computer for about 5 minutes with evidence showing that there was internet activity at 1:18 a.m.
What was he going to?
I'll tell you. And then another internet activity at 10 a.m. But the 10 a.m. time frame was around when Haruko, the mom, had come in.
Yeah.
And so they're like, holy shit, either the killer was spooked and ran away when Haruko came to check on the family, or it could possibly have been that she like bumped into it or
Yeah.
something and activated the computer. So
Well, hopefully it's that.
hopefully it's that.
I can't imagine that he'd be spooked by a elder lady
Yeah, after doing all that fucking shit.
after doing all that. Unless it was like a light of day situation where
Yeah.
you're like, Jesus, close all your tabs. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not the same person.
It's different now. It's different.
Yeah.
Also, remember how I said that the homes were soundproof?
Yeah.
So like all of this happening right next door and they're so close.
Oh my God.
But they couldn't hear anything because they had soundproofed it. Okay, so
fucking window was open.
it's true.
But I mean,
Maybe hers was shut. You don't fucking
maybe.
know.
Yeah.
Or maybe he shut it after he came in.
Yeah, all he had to take off was the screen.
We keep saying he.
I can't imagine that a female did this, but
Well, that's fucking sexist of you. How dare you?
touche. All right.
How fucking dare you?
Lay it on me.
You don't know what I'm capable of.
I mean, I don't, but also I do.
Okay, so the internet activity, right? While the killer was on the computer, they created a folder. I don't know what it was named or anything, but that's how they kind of know.
Taxes 2009.
Yeah, like what the fuck? But they gave him like a timestamp also. Like the killer was still in the house, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if anything was put in the folder. There's no details. It's just like, the fucking killer created a folder and also accessed the internet and visited a like theatrical website,
What?
like a theater like crew that like fucking travels around and does fucking Wicked on Ice. I don't know.
what?
I don't know.
Like off Broadway?
Exactly. But it was noted that that was like a bookmark on the family computer already. So
Oh.
maybe the killer just clicked it.
Yeah. Well, he could have been like going to wake up the computer, and you know, when you like click a lot and move the
Yeah.
mouse around, like,
I hate that.
and then you fucking open something, and you're like, God damn it.
My job has taught me to not click too much. And then when I watch other people click, you do this a lot. You click like 500 times, and I'm like, I am going to have an anxiety attack
click a
watching
lot.
you click. Or you'll be like, just click here. And I'm like, give it a fucking second. It's opening. It's like, Jesus. I know where the button will appear, but I'm going to wait for it to show up, and then I'm going to click it. Are we cool? But that, have always been like that.
Yeah.
Like
I'm
you.
like, just get through it.
I have always been like you until I started
oh.
my job. And then
Yeah.
you can fuck some shit up doing
Yeah.
that. So I learned to just wait.
I work with people who are like they'll click on a thing, and I'm like, you got to double click on it. And they're like, I'm like, oh, you're just renaming the folder now. God damn it.
Oh, God.
So I might get a little aggressive with my instructions.
I'm used to them. I can handle them. Oh, God. So maybe that's what happened here. The killer accidentally created a folder.
Maybe.
It's like, how the fuck do you double click with this goddamn fancy ass mouse? This
Yeah.
ergonomic mouse.
Yeah, what if it was one of the different ones?
Yeah, it could have been. I don't
Yeah.
know. Either way, we know that the killer was at least in the house at 1 a.m., around 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Now, for years, the police thought that the killer was in the house up until 10 a.m. So it was assumed that this person was hanging out in there for fucking 10 hours or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Was there other stuff in the house that was like, and also this block of cheese was eaten?
yes, I'm going to tell you all about that
okay.
shit. It's coming up. It's
Okay.
coming up. But
Okay.
let me just finish telling you about this computer shit.
Okay.
So it came out that, because of fucking a lot of people investigate this case, and it came out that the mouse was actually found on the floor of the, like next to the computer or whatever. So they're assuming that it got bumped and knocked over during the finding of the whole family.
Yeah,
And-
you might be a little shocked and like back up.
Exactly.
Moved
And
to
so
the
a bunch
side.
of experiments were done, and they used the same mouse and the same computer that the family owned. Not like theirs, but like
Yeah,
similar
yeah.
ones. And it determined that would like kick the computer on or whatever, which I feel like would be like the easiest motherfucking experiment to run in the day of experiments. Like, hey guys, tough one for you today. We're going to put this mouse on this desk, and I want you to knock it over repeatedly.
Yeah,
And
just
then I'm going
bump
to
into
read
it.
the data later. Yeah. Give me different ones.
Bump into it with your hip, maybe
Yeah.
carrying a cup,
Yeah.
carrying
Yeah.
a knife.
Exactly. I don't know why that cracks me up so much. I'm tired. Okay, so then this kind of leads investigators to believe that the killer left between 1 a.m. and 10 a.m.
Okay.
Somewhere in there. Also, turns out the killer had drank some barley tea. Now, it was noted that there was like soda and beer and shit in the fridge also, but the killer went for barley tea.
Is that uncommon?
I have no fucking clue. I've never once heard of barley tea. It sounds like beer just without alcohol, right? Like, isn't beer made with barley?
I mean, yeah, it's one of the ingredients of it. But I'm just thinking, like, is that like a common thing? Like, you know how in England everybody's like, and anyway, here's my kettle. Where in the United States, nobody has that.
Oh,
so
yeah,
if
yeah.
it would be like, and then they had some tea. In
Yeah,
the
like
US.
tea drinking's a normal goddamn thing. I don't know about barley tea. Is barley tea like a specialty? Like you see that shit and you're like,
Well, I don't
"Ooh."
know. That's what I'm wondering. Like in
Well, is it-
Tokyo, is it like, and you have barley,
Barley
tea,
tea.
with biscuits?
Now, is this like iced tea? Because it was in the fridge, right? Or did the killer like brew a cup of tea?
That's interesting.
I have so many questions. I fucking wrote barley tea and I was like, yep, no questions here about barley tea.
This won't come up later.
0 questions. Didn't give a second thought. The killer also ate some melon and some ice cream from the freezer.
How invasive.
So invasive. Let me tell you about this motherfucking monster.
Okay.
This monster did not use a spoon to eat the goddamn ice cream.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, they were like cups of ice cream. And this person squozed the cups with their fingers to make the ice cream pop up and then bit into the ice cream using teeth. Bit into ice cream.
How do
Who
you know
bites
that-
ice cream?
How do you know he bit it?
Because there was like teeth marks in the melted ice cream. I don't know. I don't know.
I feel like you
didn't
wouldn't
think of-
see teeth marks in the ice cream.
Maybe it was put back in the freezer. I don't know all the details.
Oh.
But the one article that I read that had this information said that they bit the ice cream. And I was like, no, who bites ice cream? You don't use your
I'll
teeth.
bite ice cream.
You fucking monster.
Not with my front teeth. Gotta be with my canines.
Okay, well, now I have some more questions. Okay. Like if it's like a fudge sickle or something?
Yeah, or like a like ice cream sandwich, you know?
Oh, ice cream sandwich. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, you bite that shit.
Well, I just bite to the cookie part and then I break it. I like bend the sandwich so that it breaks the ice cream part into my mouth.
I just do that with my canine.
Just
Maybe
your
that's
one?
what he did. Yeah, just it only touches one tooth.
Oh, can you imagine pushing ice cream up and eating it? Get a fucking spoon, you psycho.
Well, he's clearly a psycho.
I do not like this at all. For the record, this reminds me of when I was younger and for some reason sharing a fucking fudge sickle with my brother like a goddamn monster myself.
Gross.
And he was grossed out by it and he was like, I'll share this ice cream, but we have to bite it, right? Like you take a bite, you don't lick it or whatever because that's disgusting. And I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, we're going to bite ice cream. Like this freaked me out. And then he taught me to like bite it really fast. Like you just like kind of
Yeah.
like break it like that and then it won't hurt your teeth. And that is how I learned. Only if I were sharing the ice cream. Otherwise, I deep throat that shit like a motherfucking champ, all right? And I will do that in public. I have no shame. If it's a fudge sickle, I'll eat the shit out of that. Okay, so the monster fucking bit the ice cream.
Yeah. Okay. It had to have been put back in the freezer. He was like, one bite. Oh, I don't like pistachio. Put it back.
Either that or my article was not of super sound fucking shit. This wasn't on the Wikipedia, I'll give you that. It was actually where I got most of my information, which I have the link in here, but somebody did some fucking stellar research and found all the shit. And they said it bit it. So maybe it was put back in the freezer. I didn't question it at all. I was like, yeah, ice cream will hold its form in any temperature.
They'll be able to determine that 10 hours later.
What's barley tea? 0 questions. I would make a great detective. Jesus. Okay, so then hard cut here. This killer took a fucking shit in the toilet and left it without flushing.
What a monster.
I thought that the biting ice cream was bad. Which also, for the record, I totally understand having to take a shit right after eating ice cream. Like somebody
I thought you were going to say after murdering someone. And I was like, wait, you get that all worked up?
gotta get it out. I don't know, but like I eat ice cream and in like 5 seconds I'm like, ooh.
Maybe that's why
Bubble
he only
guts.
took like a bite
Yeah.
and put it back in the fridge or freezer. And he was like, that's all my body can handle. And then
You're
he was
assuming
like,
it's a he again.
oh, wait. Well, who bites ice cream? Men.
You evidently with your one canine.
Just aside. I mean, also, who shits and just leaves it?
Monsters. Monsters. Yeah, you're probably onto something there. You're probably onto something there.
Yeah.
That I will give you. That I will take. I will take that fucking profiling activity to the goddamn grave. Fucking monster.
Am I profiling? Yes. Is it wrong? Yes. Am I going to catch a killer? Maybe.
All right, let me tell you more about this killer.
Okay. Fucking log dropping over here.
Mr. Log Dropper fucking had some injuries during this fucking monstrosity of an attack is what I meant to say, and used the family's first aid kit to tend to their injuries and left behind like Band-Aids and shit in the kitchen. So there's like blood evidence, right?
Yeah.
Also, the killer left behind fingerprints.
Yeah.
Oh.
10 hours in a house or 2 to 10 hours in a house.
You're going to leave some shit behind.
Yeah.
This
Also,
person.
your saliva in this not melted ice cream.
Yeah. Yeah. There's fucking evidence everywhere.
Just because your brother said to bite it doesn't mean that no spit's getting on it.
Hey, yo, that's what I always say.
Ew.
The killer took a nap on the couch, and on the second floor, I guess there was like a living room up there, which again makes it sound huge again, right?
Yeah.
I have so many questions about this house. And there are totally
like a day bed.
What?
Maybe it was like a day bed.
Maybe. Or like a futon.
There's never enough food on the on.
So paper towel. All right. Took a nap on the couch on the second floor, right? Left behind some clothing on the couch. I don't know if it was like laid out, like this is my outfit I will wear, or if it was just like bundled up. I don't know why it's important, but in my mind it was like laid out perfectly. Like tomorrow I will wear this.
Yeah.
They also left behind a hip bag, like a fanny pack.
Oh,
like
okay. Don't say fanny. We have listeners in Australia.
What's it called there?
A bum bag.
Oh, okay. See, there you go.
Because fanny
bum
means
bag.
vagina.
Well, it is. It does go over your vagina.
I mean,
There
ain't
you go.
wrong.
It depends on how you wear it. So, or a hip bag is how the article described it.
Yeah.
And the broken knife.
Oh, he left all that?
Or she.
My God. Okay. They left all that?
Yeah.
This is a real mystery.
You better be hanging on the edge of your motherfucking seat. Yes, they left all of that. The family's bank cards and various items were also spread throughout the home, so investigators suspected that the crime may have been financially motivated
Okay.
and possibly committed by somebody who knew the family.
Yeah.
The first floor had some like storage bins with paperwork and shit in it, and the killer had taken the bin upstairs to the bathroom and dumped all of the paperwork into the bathtub.
Weird.
Super weird. There's a lot of weird things here.
Why would you do that?
I don't know.
Like it's easier to sort through?
That's what I was thinking. Like
Just
maybe
dump it on the floor
I
and
don't
spread
know.
it out.
I don't know.
That's
don't know.
weird. You have
I
to
know.
bend down by the bathtub now.
I know.
Do you know how often they clean their toilet? Which
I
is
don't.
right next to the bathtub that you're going to be leaning in piss or whatever?
That you took a shit in?
That you... That is disgusting.
Yeah, I know, right?
Maybe
Yeah.
you took a shit after.
No.
You got a timestamp on that shit?
I'll tell you why you didn't take a shit after, or she.
Okay.
Because the killer also took stuff from purses and wallets and like the house keys and shit and threw that stuff into the toilet along with the shit.
That is disgusting.
Yes.
That is disgusting.
Yes. I like how I talked about an 8-year-old child being stabbed in the spine and dying last.
I was horrified by that.
I agree.
However, I rarely hear about someone mixing keys and shit. I hear about stabbings more often than I would like.
Yeah, we are a little desensitized. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, can you? I'd be fucking pissed if I were like the goddamn crime scene analyst and you're the last one on the motherfucking totem pole and they're like, hey, Bob, go get the keys. And
Go
you're like,
fish that shit out.
fuck you. Yeah.
Well, they probably had to bag up the shit too for evidence.
It all got bagged
This
up.
is exhibit
P for
2.
poo.
Yeah, I was like,
Oh,
what?
two's good.
Ugh,
Yeah.
that's gross.
Yeah.
That's gross.
So,
And just disrespectful.
right? So disrespectful. So with the killer taking a shit in the toilet and not flushing it, and the bloody bandages and shit all over the fucking house, we've got some solid DNA evidence, right?
Yeah.
Based on the fecal matter, it is known that the killer had eaten.
I thought you were going to tell me that the killer was a woman. And I was like, bum, 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 bum.
No, it just makes me feel so silly saying this next sentence, and I don't know why. It's like what you would find in your child shit. The killer had eaten string beans and sesame seeds the day before the murder.
Okay. Okay. Sesame seeds? I mean, I get it.
Yeah. Immediately, I was like, edamame. That sounds bomb. I want edamame.
Oh, that does sound good.
The clothing that was left behind, the investigators were able to trace the manufacturer of one of the clothing pieces, which was a sweater. And they determined that only 130 sweaters were made and sold.
Fuck, this guy's bougie.
Right? But they were only able to trace back 12 of those sweaters, and they didn't match any of the fucking DNA.
Those people still had their sweaters.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, yeah, I bought that. Like, who's going to come forward and be like, I bought that, but I don't have it for some reason?
Yeah.
Because I killed the whole family.
Mine's misplaced.
Yeah. Oopsie. Another interesting note is that the clothing didn't show any scuffing of having been scraped along the small bathroom windowsill or anything. And no clothing fibers were found on the window.
Was this motherfucker naked?
Yeah, I didn't even consider that, but that's 10 times more terrifying.
It is.
But,
And then the dad running upstairs to a naked person in your kid's room.
oh, dear God. And they just like brought their clothes with them, but didn't wear them.
It was in their fanny bag.
It was a small one. Like, I don't think it would
Maybe
fit
it was like a sweater tied around his waist.
Maybe. That doesn't seem very, like, aerodynamic for...
Or like tree climbing.
Yeah. I feel like you'd want some clothes for tree climbing, you know?
Yeah.
Sounds a little risky, you know what I mean?
Splinters.
Yeah. Now, this whole thing, the reason that there was no, like, fibers found on the windowsill, because it's a small window. It's like bathroom window, right? Somebody would have to scrape through to get in.
Yeah.
And no scuffs on the clothes, which I don't know if the bathroom window was fucking dirty or something. So they're like, why is there no dust on there? I don't know. But this questions the whole theory of the killer entering through the window, through the bathroom. The only other way that they would have been able to get in is through the front door, but the door was locked. So
And dad was downstairs.
yeah.
On the computer.
Yeah. But this suggests that maybe the person was invited in
Oh.
and knows the family.
And was upstairs napping on the couch. And then he woke up and was like, gonna murder everybody.
I have an idea. So, an interesting thing to note is that there were footprints in the blood and everything, like shoe prints in the blood of like the scuffles and all the shit. So, it like custom would have been that the person visiting would have taken their shoes off when they entered the home, so they wouldn't have had their shoes on when they did all this murdering.
Yeah.
But potentially the murderer could have been like, fucking blood is slippery, and put shoes on so that they don't slip like going up the stairs or something, and then like walked through the house with shoes on.
It's kind of a lot of like foresight though.
Yeah, I agree. Like that seems like pretty far-fetched to me based off of all of the fucking knowledge I have about this. But
I mean, maybe, but it just seems like maybe he was invited in, or she was invited in, and then was like gonna leave, put on their shoes, and then was like, oh, wait, let me run upstairs really quick and murder your child.
and do some things.
Yeah.
Maybe. But then they're like, but then the front door was locked.
Well, he was invited in originally.
Yeah.
You locked
And
the
then
front
left
door.
through the bathroom window.
Yeah.
Could be. But-
Where was the screen?
But also, the screen was on the ground outside.
Outside.
Yeah.
So you could have pushed it out.
Could have. Yeah.
Guess you could have pulled it out too.
Yeah. Like, because if it comes out, you're not going to, like, then shove it into the house and make a lot of noise, right?
Yeah.
Into the tub or whatever. But also, like, the door being locked isn't that shocking to me. Like, that doesn't mean that it had to either come in through the window or be invited in, one or the other, because the killer left. The killer could have locked the door and left out the window. Or could have, I don't know what kind of lock this was, but
Yeah,
like,
they could have locked the door on the way out.
yeah. I don't understand why this is so mind-blowing.
As long as it's not like a deadbolt.
Yeah, if it was one of those, like, slidey doohickeys, then that's just some talent to lock that before you leave.
I don't think you can.
Oh, I'm sure you can. I bet there's a TikTok on it. And like I said, the bathroom screen was on the ground and the window was left open. So for sure, something happened in the window.
Yeah.
And the tree branches were broken too. So somebody had been climbing the tree.
Yeah. Maybe that's where they left
from.
Yeah.
There was a lot of detail around the clothing that was left behind, but I didn't take note of this. It was like how many manufacturers made the shoes, what kind of shoes they were. There was like a hat. There's literally a whole fucking outfit that they have on a mannequin, and they're like, do you recognize this outfit? Because it's a full, there's like a scarf. There's all kinds of shit. Investigators even were like, I recognize the cologne that is on this clothing. And it was some, I don't know.
Chanel No. 5.
Yeah, I was like, it's some fancy cologne, but any name of a cologne sounds fancy to me. Like Aspen. And I'm like, wow, You could buy that at Walmart for $20. I love the smell of aspen, for the record.
Thought you made it up.
It's a real cologne. I don't know who makes it or what, but it's a green bottle and it's got an aspen tree on it.
Oh, well,
Smells
would
very
you
nice.
Look at that.
Okay, anyway.
I was like, yeah, Tucson.
Tuscany.
Yeah.
All right. Another interesting thing that was found was there was a couple of handkerchiefs and one of them had like a slash in it or a hole in it. And I guess it fit the knife perfectly. And there's like this technique that some like fish factory workers will use sometimes when they're like cutting up seafood, where they'll like stab the knife through a handkerchief and like tie it around the hand or wrap it around the hand or whatever. And it keeps the knife from slipping when you're doing work and like you won't cut yourself on accident. And it seems that the killer did this with that like broken knife. So it was like
That's weird.
planned, right?
Yeah.
It seems very personal, like a knife attack. It was fucking planned.
Strangled. Yeah.
Yeah, like this family, Jesus. So intense. There, in that hip bag that was found, there was also some sand in the bottom of it. And so they like did some bleep bloop analysis on the sand and they found out that it was traced back to the Nevada desert here in the U.S.
What?
Yeah, and more specifically from the Edwards Air Force Base in California. And I'm like, how the fuck do you know that shit? Like, do we just have sand samples sitting everywhere and we're like, this one was taken from these coordinates?
Yes.
I have so many questions.
Well, I mean, I think they'd like measure the shit inside the sand and they're like, this fucking fauna only grows in this whatever place.
like the isotopes in teeth?
yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, well, because they're able to figure out where people have lived.
Oh, yeah.
And the isotopes in their teeth, and it has something to do with like fucking radioactivity or some shit.
Yeah.
Because like in 1960, we blew a lot of atom bombs. I don't know. I don't remember.
Shit happened.
Yes,
It was a long
We all
day.
started using microwaves, and now we all have this fucking carbon
Yeah.
date timestamp in our teeth isotopes.
But they can tell like where people lived, like you said, because of like shit that's in their, I don't know, like lungs or DNA or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
That blows my fucking mind. But also, that little part came from Wikipedia, so I don't know how true it is.
it's probably 100% true.
Yeah.
I don't think people
Fact.
lie on the internet anymore.
Fact. Not anymore. They're not allowed to. We'll all get them.
Yeah.
In the fanny pack or hip pack or vagina pack or bum bag or whatever, they also found hair strands, and they showed that the killer had short, dark hair.
Okay.
The DNA and the fingerprints were ran through a bunch of databases and they didn't get any hits. There was like over 1 million fucking people had their fingerprints taken to like compare to this case, and they didn't get any hit on them. The blood was found to be type A and determined that the killer was male.
Oh, got him.
And
Had me going.
Had you going, and was mixed race. And the maternal DNA indicated that a mother of Southern Eastern European descent. I don't know why I said Southern Eastern. Southern European descent,
Okay.
maybe near the Mediterranean is what was mentioned. And the paternal DNA indicated that the killer's father was of East Asia descent. Now, there's this whole thing about it being a one in how many chances that it's Japan versus China versus South Korea, and they worked with South Korea government and they weren't willing to work with them and all this other shit. There's a lot of fucking and like conspiracy theories and shit. I'm going to call them that because I didn't understand them fully, aka I read the sentence and I was like, I'm not going to write that. There's a lot of fucking theories on what's going on here.
Yeah.
It was also determined that the killer was estimated to be 5'7" tall and thin build, and born between the years of 1965 and 1985, which would put their age at 15 to 35 years old at the time of the murder,
Pretty big gap.
and likely to be right-handed. I know, right? But then everything I read was like, this was determined because you would have to be that in order to climb the tree and get into the house. Like, that's how the weight and the height and everything was determined. Or like that they were slim because they fit through the window and they had to be this young in order to climb that tree.
But you don't even know if they actually went through the tree.
Yeah, like it's a question.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to note, again, something I didn't write down, but there was another theory that maybe it was skaters that committed this murder, like a skater kid, literally a skater boy, came
He
in.
said, see you later, boy.
Yeah, and murdered the whole fucking family.
Yeah.
Because I guess there were skaters in this park that was behind the house, and the kids used to always play at the parks, and the skaters were like fucking riding on the benches or whatever, like, you know, grinding and shit, grinding and shit, and like the dad would always come out and yell at them. So then the police are like, oh, maybe there was a grudge there.
There's a pretty big fucking escalation between,
Yeah,
hey, can you not do that? To I'm gonna murder your whole family.
exactly. Well, and then the shoes found at the scene, which this isn't like very like signed, sealed, delivered evidence, but the shoes found at the scene. Everybody's like, skaters wouldn't wear those shoes. They look like dad shoes.
Yeah, they're like white New Balances.
That's exactly what they look like. Oh, God.
You wouldn't want to leave your good skate shoes.
No. Like your Oasis.
Yeah.
Your Etnies. Get over here.
What is it, the 90s? Early 2000s?
Oh, also, here's a fucking crazy ass little tidbit that I read. The killer was caught on camera at a local supermarket before the murders, purchasing the knife and shit.
What?
So like in the outfit was like, I would like this knife. So like we have
video of
this person, and the investigation into this murder has turned out to be one of Japan's like largest fucking cases in history, with almost 250,000 investigators on the case.
Holy shit.
Not at one time, like over the years
Okay.
since 2000.
Who sent 250 of us?
Who's on hoses? Oh, God. And over 12,500 pieces of evidence were collected. As of December 2020, over 13,500 tips have come in for this case, and it still remains unsolved. We don't know who this motherfucker is. Isn't that
Jesus.
crazy? One of the detectives, okay, I'm going to hit you with a sad note.
Okay.
So one of the detectives who was on this case for several years retired and is still really close to Mikio's parents. Actually, his mom, because his father has since passed away. And every year after she's retired, she has gifted, like I think on the year anniversary of the murder, she's gifted the mom a doll. And it's a specific kind of doll that I didn't write down. But it's a doll. And the doll is missing a left eye. And every year she gives a doll with a missing left eye. And the idea is that once they have the murder solved, together they will fill in the left eyes of the dolls.
What the fuck? The mom did it.
No, it's the investigator that's like gifting. I'm sure it's like, it means like fucking good luck or something. I should have looked into what the doll is.
That is
It's like it looks
equally...
they're not like Raggedy Ann dolls. It's literally like a plastic doll thing looking thingy-majiggy.
That doesn't make it better.
I know.
Missing an eye? That's
I'm pretty
horrifying.
It's got to mean
What
something.
is this, Toy Story with the one thing with the shaved off buzzed head and the missing eye?
Yeah, Sid.
I mean, that's what the kid's name is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Sid's toys.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, it's one of Sid's toys with
Yeah.
the missing eye and the fucking spider legs or whatever.
These are much cuter.
Okay.
Think of like Sanrio. Like super cute little ball things, and they're just missing an eye. But not like creepily missing an eye. It's just not black there. I don't know how to describe this. You're right. It does sound very creepy, but it was very sweet and sentimental. And I'm like, oh my God, they're going to fill in the left eye together. And I'm like crying as I'm typing it.
And then I just shot all that down.
Yeah, maybe I'm not doing a very good job at
horrifying.
describing it.
That's horrifying.
It sounds terrifying the way I said it.
Yeah.
The picture was sad as fuck. It was like these cute little dolls, and they just look like balls on like a box or something, and they were faces. And then the mom was just like, the grandma was like staring at them like, oh, someday I'll know who murdered my family. And then this investigator, the investigator got so
The
close.
investigator keeps sending them to her?
Yeah, because the investigator's like really close. It's fucking a totally different culture, all right? Like everybody cares about each other. It's very different from
don't
the US.
understand.
All right? Yeah. Very different from the US.
Okay.
It's like you are a community, right?
Yeah.
So like not only did this family get murdered, the community just suffered a giant loss. And it's not like how we fucking say that here where we're like, wow, it's a whole loss for the community. It's like literally they're like, I will come every fucking year and do the ceremony with you and bring you gifts, and I will come to the gravesite. Like they got fucking invested. Anyway, and so one investigator is like, I will gift this with you. It's very symbolic. Like, and then in fucking no time, we're going to get to fill in all those left eyes. Left eye Lisa Lopez.
And now it's been 21 years.
Yeah, isn't
So
that
she has
crazy?
21
No, it was like
dolls.
the lady worked on the case for a while, and I think it's like $7 or some shit.
Okay.
So it's been 7 years since she retired.
Okay. I can accept the sentiment and understand that
No, you
there
can't.
are different
I'm
cultures.
you
However,
know what? I
I
need
would
to get
be-
you a doll for Goose's
I would
memorial.
be horrified if every year you were like, hey, remember? And gave me this doll with missing an eye. I'd be like, can we not?
Well, it's supposed to be something to look forward to, you know, like we're going to get the answers and then we can fill in the left eye. It must mean something, that left eye. I should really Google this.
I mean, yeah.
I legit have been happy with
you
just
know how
barley
many emails
tea.
we're going to get about left eye dolls?
I know. I have been
and how
happy.
insensitive I am? I'm sorry.
You know
But
what?
I
It's
would
okay. Wait. I was okay with barley tea.
Okay.
I was okay with them finding bitten ice cream. And I was okay with fucking 7 dolls with missing a left eye. Didn't question any of those.
I didn't like any of them.
I didn't even
and
do
shit in the toilet.
I didn't even do research to figure out what any of those mean or do or whatever or how it was found. I didn't even think twice about it. You
You're
know what
just
I
like, yeah,
did?
that's normal.
You know what I did research?
What?
A sashimi bocho knife because I was like, what the fuck is that? Is this going to be like another buck knife story or some shit? It's just a knife.
Is it like
Like-
a long, skinny knife?
Yeah, for like making sushi and shit.
Yeah.
Sashimi,
For
perhaps.
making sashimi?
Yeah, yeah. Perhaps.
Yeah. That that makes sense.
Oh my
I
God.
understood that reference, but I don't know what a bocho is, but I could get it.
I don't either, but some restaurants are called bocho, something or other. Bocho. Also, like every year, the investigator gets together with a family and they like, she brings the grandma bento boxes. And I was just like, fuck, man, edamame bento boxes. I'm starving. Like, I'm hungry. I want sushi.
That sounds bomb. I'm down.
I want all of that.
Neither of us are pregnant. Let's go get it.
Fucking down.
On our date.
Down. I'm so excited.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. Anyway,
That
that was Joseph's story. Blame Joseph for that
thanks, Joseph.
terrifying. We don't even know who did it.
Yeah, that's pretty
Home
fucked
dudes running around shitting in places. Isn't this the second story I've told where somebody left a shit in the toilet?
up. I don't know about in the toilet. I told one where a guy left a shit out like on a trail because he was waiting to kill someone.
You did.
He pooped out there, and they were
You
like,
did.
Exhibit A.
I thought I did too recently. Somebody shit in the toilet and left it. Maybe I just read about it. Maybe it was this case and I was like, not doing that one.
That's
that
terrifying.
has kids that get murdered in it. And
Yeah.
then yesterday I was like, today's the day. I'm going to do it.
I don't like it. I don't like
I
that
have
at all.
so many
I
questions.
have a lot of questions.
I should have probably researched a lot more.
I mean,
Sorry about it.
listen, that's what we're here for. Half facts.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would like to see a picture of these dolls.
I'll show you right now.
You say they're cute.
Yeah, they're not like you're
I
probably
imagine that little, what was the frog's name? Like Kiroku or something? What are they called?
Sanrio?
Yeah, they're Sanrio, but what was the frog's name?
Oh, I didn't know.
He was my favorite. I don't remember his name.
Oh, look at that. It popped right up. Okay, here are I wonder if it gives you a zoom in of the dolls. Here are the dolls. They look like almost like Russian nesting dolls. They're just circles on top of squares. And then they have little faces. There's another picture of like the faces and they're all missing left eyes. Isn't it sad? She's sitting there like, I want to fill in the left eye. Are you creeped out still?
Yes.
Okay, wait, here's the
First
dolls.
of all, she
Here.
is adorable. I love her.
I know! Oh, I want to give her a hug. Okay, here. Look, here's the dolls.
Uh-huh.
They look like pirates because they don't have an eye. Do you think these are special made dolls? I just assumed they were special made dolls, but now
They're not even all missing the left eye.
excuse the fuck out of me. This ruins everything. Maybe it was lost in translation.
Yeah, that one's missing the right eye.
Okay, well, listen.
Which would be the other
Majority of them are missing the left eye. Oh, they're
Japanese
called-
Daruma dolls.
Yeah, they're called Daruma dolls. I guess I could have wrote that down. It's literally in the description here. What's a Daruma doll? Sorry, guys. This is terrible research.
Ooh, they're still scary.
They're not.
It's a traditional Japanese doll, symbol of perseverance and luck.
I knew it was a symbol of something. Why do you fill in the eyes?
It's modeled after a monk.
Okay.
He seems to have lived between these times. His origins are shrouded in mystery. During his travels, he stopped for a time in a monastery in China, founding the famous stuff. Come on, here we go. He's a wall gazer. He meditated, eyes to a wall, in a seated position for 9 years without breaks and without closing his eyes, except once after 7 years. He was
Whoa.
so furious at himself for what he perceived as lack of discipline that he sliced his own eyelids off to prevent himself from ever sleeping again. As the eyelids touched the ground, they sprouted green tea plants. This legend is one of the reasons behind the Buddhist monks often drinking green tea to stay awake. On top of self-mutilation, he also suffered the loss of his arms and legs.
Oh, that's why they're just balls?
According to some legends, they fell off of his body as a consequence of his immobility for 9 years. Art and folklore depicting him show almost exclusively displaying these characteristics, which is why they don't have arms and legs.
Well, that is far more interesting. I should have explained all of that.
Yeah.
I still don't understand why you have to fill in the eyes.
One of the most noticeable features is its blank glance. These dolls do not have pupils, but they present large white circles where the eyes would be. One of the theories behind this choice is the design, blah, 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 blah. In the past, wanted God residing in the doll to help them achieve their goals and vow that they give Daruma its eyesight if the god helped them succeed in their endeavors.
Oh, so as soon as they find out who killed the killers, then they'll get eyesight.
Yep.
The dolls will
So
get
the
eyesight.
god has to help them succeed in their endeavors, and then it will get
Then you fill in
eyesight.
the eyeballs.
Interesting.
That would have been interesting if maybe perhaps the article could have explained that for me.
You know.
Although they probably were like, a Daruma doll. You know what that is, right? And I was
You
just
know.
like, I'm just going to say doll.
And you were like, yeah, I get it.
God damn it. How many other fucking stories do I just jack up with this?
I mean, probably not that many. I feel like that one was like that I had questions. I would be thoroughly frightened. That makes a lot of sense. That gives me more like closure on it.
You know, I was like, all I had for you was like, I know it's symbolic for something.
I wasn't accepting that. I was like, that's terrifying. They're popping eyes out of dolls and they're like, let's
No.
keep them in this jar and we'll put them back when we
It
figure
was
it
like
out.
drawn on, right? I feel like those were stickers.
I mean, they're probably stickers
Or
or
like
something.
a Sharpie.
I don't know. They're kind of spooky. I want one.
Okay. Does it have to be about something sad? No, it's just like if you're
No, they're just like
if
a
you're
doll
gifted
of
by the
perseverance.
okay.
They grant you perseverance.
A
and stuff.
Daruma doll. I feel like we need a Daruma doll for the shelf.
We do. And then we'll
And then when we hit 1 million subscribers, we can fill in the eyeballs.
Oh, it's always going to be blind. Damn it.
It is.
Well, all right, everybody.
Well,
there
it is.
I appreciate that one, Stace.
You're welcome. Thanks, Joseph.
Thanks, Joseph.
Thank Joseph is what I meant to say.
I did. I just did.
Thank him, goddammit.
I said thank him. Thank you. We appreciate you. And if anyone else has any case suggestions or things of that nature, email us at isgdpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to see pictures pertaining to Stacy's case, go to isgdpodcast.com.
Maybe we can get Alexis to put some Daruma dolls up there. The pictures
Oh, yeah.
on the website.
Maybe.
So you'll know what we're talking about.
Yeah. Also, we are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok.
Boom, boom, boom. Well, I forgot. I haven't. Yeah. We'll put them
we're-
up there.
We're on it.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes.
Yeah. I'll put it up
That's
there.
at ISGD Podcast. You can join our Facebook pod group, the Goddamn Pod Group.
Yep.
It's a good time. It's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
You can do some other stuff.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Subscribe, rate, and review. Come join our Patreon.
Yeah.
Come support your favorite podcast.
Yeah. Do all the things.
Tell us we are your favorite. Please.
We would appreciate that. Also, if you would like to snail mail us, you can do so at P.O. Box 2764, Spring Valley, California, 91979.
Whoop, whoop. I think that's it. I think you crushed it.
Did I crush it?
Yeah, you killed it. Crushed it. Bye, guys.
Bye.